Line. The line can be short, long, straight, curvy, solid, dashed, thick, or thin. It can be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, or even invade the third dimension. Lines can be used to divide different sections on the design, or as it creates a sense of movement, it directs the user to look in a specific direction. And depending on the line style, this movement can be simple or more complex. A line with several curves will direct the user's eye around. A dashed line can create small pauses in the way we follow it. Form is the second most used element in design. Any form is nothing more than several lines combined in different directions and with specific sizes that create a new element. These can be circles, squares, rectangles, or any abstract objects. Minimalist design quite often uses simple form such as circles and squares in their design. And a form doesn't have to be obvious. A block of justified text can easily be seen as a rectangle. Just like lines, forms can also be associated in our mind with different senses. Circles are associated with nature and movement, while squares and triangles can be seen as a more basic structurally sound design. Color. Color is one of the most important elements in design and can be found everywhere. Even white and black can be considered color. It can be subtle or flashy, can evoke anger, serenity, and even hunger. The amazing thing about color is that you don't have to consciously realize what emotion the color is evoking, but your brain subconsciously does. Studies show that people living in a mostly red environment suffer from higher blood pressure and faster heartbeats than people living in mostly blue environments. This can lead us to conclude that color is indeed vital for the success of a great design. Color can also create contrast, draw attention, give a feeling of depth, emphasize, and change the way we relate to an object. Color theory is a large subject in design, one that we will review better in a future course. Texture. Don't be fooled, texture isn't only for print. The term refers to the characteristics of a surface that can be tactile as well as visual. Textures can be related with the context in which it is inserted, complementing or strengthening a message. Textures with big elements are usually more aggressive, while textures with a finer grain tend to be more delicate. In most cases, texture acts as a secondary agent, giving support to the main image and reinforcing the visual concept of the design. If badly used, texture can confuse our eyes by adding unnecessary noise to the composition. Mass. Mass is a physical or visually observable size. Size can be relative. A golf ball can be small compared to a golf course, but enormous compared to an atom, and that changes our perception in design. An outdoor ad can seem much larger if text and pictures are used sparingly. The same way a business card can appear to be heavier if it has too many visual details. This is mass in action. Long text with good line height spacing can be easier to read as it will seem to have light mass, and a phrase written with big, thick letters can draw a bigger impact as it will seem heavier, and it will also be more notable than lighter elements. Space. Recently, white space has played an important paper in modern design, and it gives out a lighter feeling and helps direct your eyes to the more important elements. Let's take Google's homepage as an example. There's a lot of white space, and our eyes easily get fixated on what really is important on the page, the search function. Besides, space is also important in minimalism, as it praises the less is more idea. The lack of white space, or just space, can also give out the aspect of being unorganized or excessive weight in a visual project, creating confusion and losing the main message. White space doesn't necessarily have to be white colored, but a space without any visual elements that will grab and hold our attention.